So moving in a circle and then take it back the other way. As we move through the practice today, you might like to devote your practice to someone or something, somebody who maybe needs a little help, might be a family member or a neighbor, just needs a little bit of a boost. And then coming up nice and tall and dropping your head towards the right, feeling the stretch in the traps in the side of the neck. Thinking about the breathing, long deep breaths. And then place your right hand just behind you and move the fingers a little bit behind, a little bit more of a stretch and an opening through that side. And then bring your hand back to your knee and placing the right hand on the left knee and the left hand behind, looking over the left shoulder. Nice twist right through your spine from the base right up through to the top of the shoulders. And coming back to the breath. Couple more breaths here, then we're going to come back to the front. And take our head across to the left side this time. Feeling that nice stretch through the side of the neck and through the traps. And then taking the left hand behind, walking the fingers a little bit behind, getting a little bit more stretch through the traps in the neck. Connecting with your breath, connecting with yourself. It's taking this special time for you. And then come back to the front, placing the left hand on the right knee and the right hand behind. Gazing over the right shoulder, lifting the spine up nice and tall and getting a nice even twist in the spine. Coming back to the breath. One more breath here, and then come back to the front and bring your hands up to cactus. Breathing in as we take our elbows back and breathing out as we bring our hands forward. As you inhale, squeezing the shoulder blades together. And as you exhale, squeeze the air out of the lungs, bring the elbows forward. Softening your eyes and just coming back to the breath. Then placing the right hand on the mat and bring the left hand over the top. Stretching through the left side of the body. And then placing the left hand on the mat, bring the right hand over. That's it. That's nice deep breaths. I'm getting my hand licked every time I put it down. Okay, and then coming back to center. Just give your shoulders a little roll. And back the other way. And then we're going to come to our tabletop position and do some cat cows. So you all know how to do these. So as you inhale, lift your chest and lift your gaze. And exhale, draw your belly button up towards the ceiling, arching your back and stretching. Moving with your breath. Then opening up your hands, pressing the palms into the mat, and take your body in a circle. Just giving some nice stretching to your wrists and some movement into your hips. And take it back the other way. And then coming back to center, tucking your toes under and press up into your first downward dog. And Deb, you can do it against the side of the cabinet if you want. Just to take some weight off your shoulders. That's it, walking your heels into the mat. And coming back to your breathing. From here, we're going to come back to a plank position and then lower our body onto the mat. Hands under our shoulders and lift up our chest into cobra. And then exhale. And then come back into tabletop and tuck your toes under and back into downward dog. And then back into plank and slowly lowering down into cobra. And then back into downward dog. Just walking your heels down to the mat. And then taking your feet a little wider and walking your hands back underneath you into a forward bend. And staying in the forward bend, have the crown of your head facing down onto the earth. And just take some nice breaths here. Stretching through the back of the legs and connecting to the stretch through the lower back. Coming back to the breath. And then on your next inhalation, coming back up to mountain pose. That's it. And we're going to go into warrior one next. So we're going to turn our left toes out to the side and step forward with the right foot. And just making sure that our body's aligned. So our right heel's lined up with the left arch. And we're going to inhale and lift our arms up into warrior one. And just notice that stretch through the left hip. Taking some nice deep breaths here. And then bringing our hands into cactus, squeezing our shoulder blades together. Taking a couple more breaths here. And then take the hands down towards the right foot. You can bring your block next to your right foot if you wish, and lift up the left hand into triangle. Noticing the big stretch down the back of the right leg. Taking your left hand up towards the sky, towards the back of you. A nice stretch through the front of the chest and the upper back. And then exhale, bringing the right hand down and coming back up to standing, and step back to the back of the mat, and we'll go to the other side. This time turning our right toes out to the side and step forward with the left leg. Lining up our feet, making sure our shoulders and our hips are facing forward. Inhale, bend the left leg and lift the arms up. Reaching up towards the ceiling. And just taking some breaths here. Nice long breaths in through the nose and out through the nose. And then bringing our hands back into cactus, squeezing our shoulder blades together. Nice and strong through the legs, especially the left leg. And then exhale, folding forward. Bringing your left hand down next to your left foot. And place your block there, and inhale, lift the right hand up into triangle. Bringing the right hand towards the back of you so that you get a nice stretch through the front of the chest. And then release the right hand down. And inhale, come back up to standing. Good job. Okay, so let's just loosen up our shoulders. And we're going to come into a wide stance now and into a garland pose. So in the garland pose, we're going to just move. Ollie, if you can go over there, sit down. Okay, so we're coming into a wide-legged squat, bringing our hands into cactus. It's nice and strong. That's it. So bring your chest up nice and tall, and take some nice big long breaths here, squeezing the shoulder blades together. Nice and strong through the legs. Coming back to the breath, nice long breaths. 2 more breaths. And then from here, bring your hands down to the mat into a wide-legged forward bend. With the crown of your head facing down to the earth. Lengthening out through the legs. Coming back to your breath. Connecting with the deep stretch through the back of your legs and the lower back. Take a couple more breaths here. Allowing your head and shoulders to fall heavy. And then as you take your next inhalation, slight bend in the knees. Inhale, come back up to standing. And bring your feet together. From here, we're going to do a little bit of a balancing pose. So you might want to have something close by that you can reach and grab onto. We're going to open up our right foot and connect with the earth through the anchor points underneath your right foot. And we're going to bend our left knee and bring it up into our hand. That's it. And then bring our knees together. Bring the heel towards the bottom, lifting up through the chest. So this is giving us a nice stretch through the left quad, but also a nice balance. So finding yourself a drishti point that you can gaze at to help you with your balance, and coming back to the long, deep breaths. If you're finding the balance a little tricky, that's okay. Just come back into it. That's it. Just settling into the balance. A few more long, deep breaths here. One more breath. And then slowly control that foot down to the earth. Give that little shake. And then we're going to go to the other side. So you might find you're better on one side than the other. So just be ready for that. So opening up the left toes and move your body in a little circle, coming into contact with those anchor points. Then bending the right knee and bring the right foot into the right hand. Find your drishti point. Bring the knees together and bring your right foot to your buttocks. And just settle into your breathing. Coming back to the theme of our practice, our devotion to breath. And knowing your breath is knowing who you are. And also thinking about the person or thing that you want to devote your practice to. Let's take 3 more breaths here. And then control the foot down. Give both legs a little shake. And then let's come on to our, we're going to come down to the mat into all fours and then into a downward dog position. And stretching out our body. And from here, coming into a child's pose. Or you can go onto your back and hug your knees to your chest. This might be kinder for your knees. And so we're going to walk our hands back towards our feet and bring our forehead down towards the mat. Or if you have a block, you can place a block underneath your forehead. And coming into your breathing, relaxing your body. Taking about 3 more breaths here. And then as you inhale, rolling onto your back and hug your knees up to your chest. And rolling your knees in a circle, relaxing any tension you might have in your lower back. And bringing our hands to cactus and taking our knees towards the right, looking towards the left. A nice twist in the spine. Lengthening out the breath. And then inhale, knees to center. And exhale, take the knees to the right. Gazing to the left. Trying to keep your shoulders on the ground so you get a nice stretch through the front of the chest as well. And then bring our knees back to center, placing the right foot on the ground, left foot across the front of the right thigh, and lifting up the right foot and hug the knees towards the chest into a reverse pigeon, stretching out our glutes here, releasing any tension in that glute area. Taking a couple more breaths here. Each time you exhale, draw the knees a little closer to your chest. And last breath. Release your hands and bring the right foot to the mat. Keep the left foot across. Take the left arm straight out from your shoulder and bring the right hand onto the knees and draw them across to the right. A nice stretch through the right side of the body. Using the right hand to draw that knee across to the right side so you get a nice stretch down through the left side and through the buttocks. And then inhale, bring both knees back to center and swap your legs over. So left foot on the ground, lifting up the right leg and bringing it across the front of the left. And then hug those legs towards your chest, noticing how this side feels compared to the other side. And relaxing your shoulders and your head back onto the mat. Softening your eyes and coming back to the breath. On each exhalation, allowing your stretch a little more into the body so you feel a little more through the right glutes and the right ITB. Let's take 3 more breaths here. And then releasing the hands, bring the left foot down to the mat. Using the left hand, draw the knees across to the left side. Have your right arm outstretched out from your shoulder. Gaze out towards the right hand and draw the knees to the left. A nice stretch down the right side of the body. And just relaxing into it. Each exhalation, allow the twist to go a little more. Inhale, bring the knees to center and hug both knees into the chest to rinse out your spine. And then reach through the center of your knees towards the outside of your feet and lift your feet up towards the ceiling into happy baby, flattening out the lower back, stretching out. You can use your elbows to push the knees out a little. That's it. Just moving in a circle or from side to side or just flattening out your back, whatever feels good for you. And just settle into your breathing. Nice long breath in through the nose and out through the nose. Let's take 3 more breaths here. And last breath. Release your hands from your feet. Allow your feet to come down to the mat with bent knees, feet flat on the mat. Walk your heels in towards your buttocks, aligning your body so you're in a nice, your spine's nicely aligned. And then we're going to inhale and lift through the hips up into bridge pose. Pushing through the heels, squeezing the buttocks and lifting the hips up towards the ceiling. And then drawing your hands over your head to the mat behind your head. And just pause here for a moment. And then as you exhale, slowly bring it back to the mat and bring your hands head, hips, and then draw your heels back into the buttocks. Inhale, come back up. So just moving through your sequence at your own pace with your own breath. As you inhale, lift up through the chest, bring the chest up towards the chin, and then exhale, bring everything back down. Let's do a few more rounds. Stretching through the front of the body. Opening up the shoulders. And then coming back to bringing your body back down onto the mat with your knees bent. From here, we're going to go into our legs up position. So you might like to have a supported shoulder stand or a shoulder stand. If you're going to have a supported one, you can place a block underneath your lower back and bring your legs up, or you can have your legs up next to a piece of furniture in the room. Whatever works for you. It's coming into a nice relaxing inversion. And coming back to our theme for today, which is devotion to our breath, devotion to our practice. Making some little circles with your feet, just opening up the ankles, allowing the lymphatic system to drain down from your feet to your ankles, all the way down your legs to your lymph nodes in your groin. Taking your feet out wide. Connecting back to your breath. Bring the soles of your feet together with your knees out wide. And then lifting the feet back up towards the ceiling. If you're in a shoulder stand here, you might like to bring the feet over the head into plow pose. Let's take 4 more breaths here. Nice and slow, big inhalation in and out through the nose. And last breath here. On the next inhalation, slowly lowering your feet back down to the mat. Coming into Savasana. You might like to place a blanket over you to keep you nice and warm. So relaxing into Savasana, coming back to the breath, enjoying all the energy and warmth that you've built up in your practice today. For the next 5 minutes or so, just relaxing in Savasana, allowing your body to slow down, connecting with your breath, enjoying a nice relaxation, a little luxury as part of your day. Coming back to your breath and coming back into the room, wiggling your fingers and toes, stretching out your arms and legs, and slowly rolling to one side and coming into a comfortable seated position. Sitting up nice and tall, just keeping your eyes nice and soft. I've got a quote for us to finish on today. It's about devotion. One becomes firmly established in practice only after attending for a long time, without interruption and with an attitude of devotion. I guess it's like anything. If you continue on, it becomes a practice, it becomes a habit, it becomes part of your life. Thank you all for being here today, for sharing your time and your beautiful yoga practice. Let's bring our hands to heart center and then up to our forehead for kind thoughts, to our lips for kind words, and to our heart for a kind heart. Namaste.